Hey guys, Inverum here. I have Rest on the line. He is going to be walking us through some tips and tricks that you need to up your support play. So I guess for those who aren't super familiar with what Mina is all about, why don't you kind of walk us through her kit and her play style?
So her passive is just going to be a random chance where whenever you take damage from an enemy, it's going to go ahead and clave and damage around you. And then her first ability is kind of similar to her passive, except for you activate it whenever you want, and it'll just do area effect damage all around you. Her second ability is really good on a support. It's where you're going to go ahead and pull the enemies in, and then after you pull them, they're going to be slowed by 50%. And then her ultimate will taunt all the enemies around you for 2 seconds, and the damage dealt that they're going to be doing to you from the auto attacks is reduced by 50%.
What do you usually like to build here when you're on Mina? So obviously the support items are something to keep in mind here.
Yeah, so you'll go ahead and start off the game with the Windstone. That way you get that passive proccing and extra gold and XP going in. So actually I like to go with the Hermes Select. That way you're able to catch up to enemies quicker for the pull and the taunt. And after that, you'll go ahead and build that Essence of the Rin. Every single game right now, that's what you're going to be building on supports, just because of its stats that it gives you and its passive. So after that, I like to go into Guy's Standard just because of the stats it gives you. Movement speed and the HP and the magic defense is all really good for that price. Yeah, so for the rest of the game, after you get that support item, you're just going to be building out of the defensive tab. And then if you're going to go the Gaia's route first, normally after that, I'll build Shield of the Lost. And then Shield of the Lost is going to be really good, especially since you're a frontline heavy hero, and you're going to be able to have that passive on the enemies, and it'll reduce their attack speed by 30%.
Awesome. So looking at the rest of your build, it seems like you tend to go into the Mail of Pain. Obviously having that to reflect back the damage is crucial. And then going into that Blade of Eternity gives you an additional life, a way to make sure that you keep dishing out that damage, getting off those taunts and fights. And lastly, I know we were talking earlier looking at your Arcana. I'm actually going to pull it up here on the screen. So you like to go into 10 Indomitables, 10 Assassinates, 3 Mithrils, 2 Focuses, and 5 Valiants. That gives you a little bit more HP, a little bit of tankiness, as well, of course, as focusing in on that cooldown reduction. Super crucial for a hero like Mina.
Okay, cool. So I guess we'll kind of end it there. We've kind of heard a little bit from what you want to do, but we're actually just gonna hop into a game. We're gonna have you coach me in real time. Oh God, oh no. We're gonna hop over and we're gonna get started with that.
All right, hopefully we can make you look good, man.
Let's hope. So traditionally, Mina is run as a support. Usually roaming. What is kind of the job of the roaming support?
So the roaming support is definitely a different role than the dual lane support. As a roam support, your whole job is going to be get vision for your team first off and try to zone off enemies from taking objectives, or when your team's taking an objective, zoning the enemies off from that, as well as ganking the side laners and trying to counter gank their jungler, so you're not losing those matchups. And instead of it being 2v1 for your ally, it's going to be 2v2.
That's awesome. So traditionally, where do you want to kind of position yourself here in the early game? If we watch a lot of pros, oftentimes we see them sitting in these mid bushes or getting vision and scouting here. Is this traditionally kind of where you want to be sitting to start things off?
Yeah, so any of those mid bushes along there in the river on this side or in those 2 mid bushes is usually going to be a pretty good area to go at the start of the game as the support. That way you're getting vision on if the enemy team's invading, and if they are, you're able to help out your jungler. As Mina, I usually like to see if I'm able to go over to the enemy's buff if they're not going to be invading ours, and try to pull it over the wall and reset it.
How important is it to kind of stay in your lane early? Like, how important is it to sort of be doing that kind of stuff?
For the side laners, to be able to manage a wave properly is super important. If you're able to control the wave, then you're able to control when the enemy rotates, and if they rotate at a bad time, then you're able to push that tower, or you can push out your wave and rotate before the enemy laner is able to.
So I'm sitting here scouting. So what should I be looking for at this point? So we want to, I guess
I would walk up into that blue buff bush and then try to pull him here and taunt right away. Yeah. Hopefully you guys can blow him up. Nice.
At this point, in terms of overall macro, what should we be looking to do here? Should we be looking towards a major map objectives like a dragon or a slayer at this point?
Yeah, you should be trying to set up vision in a bush and waiting for an enemy to come near you with your teammates and be able to get an objective off that. So here you should be sitting farther up in the bush. That way you can get a pull on an enemy or something like that. Yeah.
Like that?
Exactly. So there you could flicker in and taunt the enemy.
Flicker. Okay.
Still should be good if Realma focuses the Liliana instead of the Marja.
Yeah, obviously not ideal. So now we
Yeah.
should be looking towards a major objective. So they took the dragon.
We should be able to push that mid tower.
Okay, push it. All right, I
if
like
your
it.
team does fall back.
Okay, so we're in this position now where the team is pushing onto the high ground. We're in a really bad spot. What do you need to do as a team to kind of recover, to rally in this situation? What is it that you really need to focus on? Getting one pick? Can you try and snowball one pick?
Yeah, at this point, with how long death timers are, if you can just get one pick, then you should be able to take an objective off of it, and then try to win a team fight off that and end the game.
All right, well, unfortunately, couldn't quite pull out the win there, but definitely some good lessons learned. That Liliana played really, really well. They comboed with the Alice super well. Closing thoughts, Rest. We've played a couple games, weren't quite able to find some wins, but definitely some good lessons learned. What were some things that I could have done better, and also as a team that you need to think about when you're playing around a hero like Mina?
I think just sitting more aggressively in bushes and more towards the enemy team in those bushes instead of sitting farther back would have helped your team a lot. And just trying to catch them out and surprise them from those bushes. That's mostly what playing support is all about, and how you get those picks is just surprising the enemy heroes.
For sure. Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for giving me some tips. We got your build on Mina. We got some good, suggestions on how to play her. Really appreciate it. Where can people find you on social media if they want to catch more of this? I know you stream as well, so talk about that.
So currently I stream on Twitch, and then my Twitch name is RustAOV, and I also use Twitter quite frequently, and my name on there is as well as RustAOV.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much. And thanks so much for your pro insights here, helping us and the community get better at Arena of Valor. So thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.